Hello and welcome. I'm Jess Campmans, guided by Equus, and I'm here with your Horse Wisdom Insights for the week of May 10th. Just taking a breath for all of the energy that's bringing us into this week. Today is the new moon, and with it, a new beginning, and yet in what I've witnessed in the horses in the last couple days, it feels like there's this culmination process that's happening, and with it comes a lot of frustration, and having to find a new way to be, and that sense of frustration feels like it's linked to this idea or concept or process of letting go, and in that, I've shifted these horses around. So my last year's foals and my 2-year-old stallion Magic are in with a number of the bigger horses now, and having to learn and grow through adapting and integrating into this new environment, which is part of growing up, growing into, which can be frustrating because it's uncomfortable, and there's an uncertainty and unsureness. And yet, if I witness what my yearlings are doing, it feels like we're kind of moving through right now, which is, trying to find your placement in a new way of being in relationship. And so with those kind of like these, I call them babies still, which they are in a sense, and yet, having to move in the world in a way that there's no certainty of your connections. And it feels like that's kind of what this part of this week is like for us, is these connections that we've had, we're growing through them and because of them into something that is a bigger part of who we are, I guess is the best way to say that. And this bigger part of who we are means that we have to let go of our identity, which can feel really frustrating and uncertain because that's how we've known ourselves to be. And yet this thing that is bigger than us that we're growing into is the word mutual is coming. It's a mutual or symbiotic relationship with our soul, with the universe, with Creator, and it's us becoming this channel of the very thing that is deep within us, and yet it's terrifying to step into that because that's our most vulnerable state of being, and yet as we do that, we actually become more certain of who we are, because it lessens our attachments to all of these things that we think we need to be, so we can just be this, I call it thing because I don't have a better word, but be this channel of self into the world without it really mattering, that relationship to matter, without it mattering that we're this for someone or this for someone else, because when we become this, we're just being ourselves. And definitely I can relate to this experience in my own life. And part of me even wondered if these videos are even useful or useless. And then the other part of me said, but it doesn't matter. If I continue to desire or want to, step into this arena with these horses, it's not an arena, but the field, whatever you want to call it, the field of consciousness of what it is that comes through each week, then just do it for me because I enjoy doing it. And so I guess kind of bringing it back to that, whatever it is that your experience, that you enjoy doing something, as you embrace that, or this thing that felt like a seed that is wanting to come to life within you. And it's like this week is shining a light on this seed, even though we're in a new moon, which is a period of darkness. But yet this light is coming from within you, that it's your own light shining on that seed that you planted as a soul coming into this world to become this thing. And as you do that, you're actually enabling that experience for everyone else in your life to return themselves to that state of being within themselves too. So that feels kind of like a lot. And I know this month of May, there is a lot going on, and it feels like 2021, there will be a lot going on continuing through the year, for us to experience more of this way of being in our lives. But it means letting go of all of these things that we knew to be true about ourselves, which were actually not so much true as to just how we found our way of being with them. And so this year, again, feels like a lot of unattaching and letting go of certain ways of knowing how to relate to something or someone, so that we can actually find this more true form of who we are, and being able to just become this, because we're all channels for something. We're channels for who we are, our presence and our essence, and the information that we receive to share it outside of ourselves without having all of these restrictions placed around that, which is funny in relationship to where we're all at with COVID right now. But it's actually a time of remembering how we relate to ourselves that is void of those restrictions. And so when we do that with ourselves, we can then do that without any sense of fear in our relationships to the world around us. And it's funny because everybody was moving around as I started the video, and now they've all kind of found a way and place to be in the world, which feels like that's where we're all moving towards. But it's these uncomfortable spaces that we have to move through and re-find ourselves with in order to then find ourselves there. So I hope these videos continue to offer you information or ways to help you connect your own dots in the world. And looking forward to seeing where all of this brings us the further into May we go. And just sending each one of you guys much love, that you remain on this journey with me and watching these. And I guess that's where it feels like there's one more piece. Surf is looking at me over the bale. And it's funny because he's at the total opposite. I have Surf, so I'll just share that with you guys. Surf is down there, and then Mahari is in the middle, and then it's all of those guys in the north and behind me. So future, Surf is the wisdom of the heart. Present, Mahari is to distill. Soul wisdom is to distill, so like to pare down, to distill the essence of that thing. And in the past is all of those support systems and ancestors and future generations that are relying on us to to move all of that through our system, so we can distill down to our essence and then move forward in relationship to the light through our heart. So much love from all of these guys and myself, and I look forward to continuing to expand into this journey with you.